Hello, I'm Quartermuncher. Welcome to the Quartermuncher experience, where I play RPGs I've put off for too long. Unicorn Overlord is a strategy RPG developed by Vanillaware and published by Atlas. Released in 2024, it blends classic strategy RPG sensibilities with real-time strategic movement and Vanillaware's signature hand-painted art style. I played this on the PlayStation 5, but it's also available on the PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and the Nintendo Switch. I'm playing it because it's a Vanillaware game, and I like me some Vanillaware. I'm just gonna keep it simple. This isn't a review though, this is a journey. Let me tell you about the Quartermuncher experience.
Tis a deficient plan.
Unicorn Overlord is a passion project by Vanillaware, clearly inspired by classic strategy RPGs like Ogre Battle and Fire Emblem. It modernized accessibility and pacing, while Atlas published it, ensuring polish and strong localization. In Unicorn Overlord, you have a variety of units to play as, but your predefined protagonist this time is Elaine, a displaced prince seeking to reclaim his homeland. Unicorn Overlord is set in the world of Pepper, a land fractured by war after a coup led by the tyrant Galerius. It has an enormous cast with knights, mercenaries, mages, beast folk, elves, and more, each of which are tied to the regional conflicts. There are ancient bloodlines, magical artifacts, and political power struggles, as you do in a strategy RPG. You have towns that are on the world map. They function as liberation targets, recruitment hubs, and supply and rest points. You have the option to liberate towns through services and morale, reinforcing the feeling of reclaiming territory rather than just passing through it.
Are they coming for us?
Rather than having traditional dungeons, Unicorn Overlord has missions. It is a strategy RPG after all, and you do have locations you have to free rather than just passing by. Unicorn Overlord is a strategy RPG, meaning you take on missions, and in those missions, you move squads in real time across the map, pause to issue commands, and engage in auto battles determined by preparation, formation, and tactics rather than direct inputs. In Unicorn Overlord, once your squad meets another squad, they engage in a skirmish. From here, there's some defending, there's some attacking, skills may trigger, formation order may matter. From here, it's just a choice of if your unit wins or loses. These auto battles are a result of pre-mission planning, depending on your levels, your equipment, your skills, and your unit composition. You have to experiment and figure out what works to defeat the enemies. There are also a number of quests/side quests engaged on the world map if you can find them. There are towns that need to be liberated and they won't go down easily. And this affects role control, party strength. You may find yourself with a party member or extra areas to conquer. Unicorn Overlord is peak Vanillaware. Just take a look at the hand-painted character sprites and the environments. It looks like a fantasy illustration that has been brought to life. That, as well as the UI, you've got strong visual clarity with large-scale battles, and you know exactly what's going on here, especially if you've played Fire Emblem before. As far as sound and music goes, it's typical orchestral fantasy soundtrack emphasizing heroism, melancholy, and resolve. It scales well to the game's themes. Voice acting is extensive with strong performances across a massive cast. Difficulty curve is very approachable early on, with increasing complexity and difficulty as the game goes on. And as far as the game actually runs, on the PS5 it ran fairly smoothly with no major bugs or performance issues. I expect that goes across all the consoles. In my playthrough of Unicorn Overlord, I explored every bit of the world map that I could. This way I could unearth materials, new towns, and missions, and keep myself well leveled for the game ahead. I upgraded all the units I could, in classes as well as unit quantity, so I would have 10 units of 5 apiece. As far as likes and dislikes go, I like that this is a Fire Emblem clone. Strategy RPGs usually tend to come in either Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem clones, and this is the latter. Not that that's a problem, but it's also right at home. It's comfort food for strategy RPGs. I also like the art style. I've been a Vanillaware fan since Odin's Sphere for the PS2. I come to a Vanillaware game for the art style and the unique gameplay, and Unicorn Overlord is no slouch in the art department. As far as what I disliked, this is a Fire Emblem clone to the T. Again, I've been a Vanillaware fan since Odin's Sphere for the PS2, and since then, they've come out with some pretty unique titles. So just to come out with a Fire Emblem clone feels a little bit disappointing. It's not bad. They've copied it down right to the blue-haired lord. They're a fan of Fire Emblem, and this is just a passion project that shows with a lot of homies. It just copies the notes a little too much for my liking. The best part of Unicorn Overlord was the world map. It's fun to explore, get lost in, find some side missions to free towns, get some equipment, uncover some mysteries, yada yada yada, repeat until I had to proceed with the plot. It's rare to find a world map where I can get away with all of that. The worst part of Unicorn Overlord is that it reminds me of how much I missed the 2D Fire Emblems, where every battle had your character get nearly a critical hit animation, and it really felt like you were landing something critical, with a really elaborate animation, such as a sword strike. These don't carry over to 3D whatsoever, and that goes in more than triplicate when units here are 5 versus 5. 1-on-1 doesn't get it right. How is 5 versus 5 gonna make it feel, impactful? Alright, by the numbers, Unicorn Overlord, I had about 10 units with close to 5 soldiers apiece for each of them. 1 or 2 didn't make the cut, but they were the less important ones. I had 5 continents to free, or landmasses, depending on how you prefer to look at them. And Unicorn Overlord took me about 45 hours to complete. Alright, I've been Quartermuncher. Till next time, ta-ta.